Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to another episode of Out for Coffee
with Mike and Laurie.
We are here at one of our favorite places in town, the Two Guys and a Whisk Bakery. We're going to head in, we're going to make some stuff, some baked goods to take home later. Mike and I and Rob are pretty excited about bringing home some batches of goodness. So we're going to go in and we're going to have a little chat with Tracy and Nabil, the owners, and follow us along.
Come along for the journey.
Let's go.
Thanks.
Ooh. Smells good in here. Hey! We're here to make some cookies and cupcakes.
Oh, thanks for having us,
You're
guys.
going to have to work today.
You know what? I came
welcome.
ready for it.
Did you?
Yes. So to our audience, this is Tracy and Nabil, and they are the owners here at Two Guys and a Whisk. And we're here today to learn a bit about them and their business and get our hands dirty, are we?
Great.
I was going to say, you said the magic word, hands dirty, because it's not going to be just interview.
Oh, well, wonderful.
You can end up working.
Well, we're very excited for
Well,
that.
then let's get started.
Let's do it.
All right.
Hi, I'm Mike Crabb.
And I'm Laurie Schultz. Welcome to the show.
We'll have some caffeinated conversation.
And maybe some special guests along the way.
Who knows where the conversation will go? You're out for coffee with Mike and Laurie. All right, so I have a question about what it is we're doing here. What is it we're making? We're making chocolate chip cookies?
Yep.
All right. So, and we got these lovely scoops. So the good thing about the scoops is that we can make sure that they're all equal size and
Exactly.
consistency and all those wonderful things. How many did this whole batch? How many cookies did this?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times
We're at
15.
80 cookies.
6 times 15.
Okay.
Who's the math guy?
We'll batch based on what we think sales are happening.
Okay, so you got to anticipate what your week's going to look like and bake around.
It doesn't mean we're always correct.
Hey.
It's all over the place. But
So, for instance,
chocolate chip cookies are one of our biggest selling cookies.
Right.
And of course, we are here with Tracy and Nabil from Two Guys and a Whisk.
Hi.
so when we do cookie, we have like times 1, times 2, times 3. It depends if it's busy, we do a small batch. If it's bigger, if it's going to be a busy week, we do times 3, which is more cookies.
Okay.
So everything it's baking world, everything by scale
Right.
and by numbers.
So you just follow this. If you want to make X amount, then you just follow the
Exactly.
chart. And
If I have a
do-
big order, I use a big batch. If I have a small orders, I do a small batch.
Okay.
And
Mike,
everything by scale.
Pre-done math.
Did you have a question about what scaling actually is?
I actually didn't know what. So earlier, Nabil came out and mentioned scaling, and I just thought of like scaling a coffee maker. Like you pour vinegar in a coffee maker
I
to
was thinking of the
descale.
dentist. I'm like, I hope we're not doing that because...
So when you said scaling, that's what you meant, to scale out.
Basically,
Wait.
commercial bake versus home bake is 2 different things. At home, you use 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar.
Okay.
In a commercial bakery, I don't use 1 cup of flour. I scale my sugar.
Okay.
So if I'm doing a small batch, I use 700 grams of sugar versus a cup and a half of sugar.
Right.
So that's called scaling. You scale everything.
All right.
So measuring cups are rare use.
Okay. You gotta have them.
Hey, we gotta have them, but I do use my biggest tool, my main tool is scale.
Perfect.
So I
For
scale
scaling.
I scale everything.
My
Flour,
least
sugar.
favorite item ever.
What?
The scale.
Yes. This is my tool.
You know what happens when you
if-
work in a bakery?
Oh, well.
The scale numbers get bigger and
Do they?
bigger.
Until they say one at a time, please.
Okay, so since we did the chocolate chip cookies, it's already in oven baking.
Perfect.
So you guys thought you came for the interview, but actually not. You're gonna do more work.
Okay.
So we're gonna scale, and we're gonna do chocolate cake and chocolate cupcakes.
Oh, I love chocolate.
That I do. I can get behind that.
Yes.
Okay. So meanwhile, I'm gonna start scaling the ingredients,
Okay.
and you can be prepping.
Okay.
So what
What-
I can do is we're gonna have the cupcakes in there, and Tracy's gonna hand you things in there. So basically, what you do is just open up a little bit
Yep.
so we can get more batter in there.
Okay.
Okay. And Mike, can I have the last one?
Yeah.
And can I have that one too? No.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
We need about 3. There's yours.
Perfect.
So you're going to open them up a little.
Just a little.
This seems easy enough for me. I can handle this part.
Wait till you scoop.
Oh God. That's actually when I make. I just made banana muffins at home not too long ago.
Yes.
My least favorite part is trying to get the crap in the
Right. Well, now you know you need a scoop.
the delicious batter ends up all over the place. I do use a scoop.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
So what I'm
Nabil's chocolate batter is
Very liquidy.
very liquidy.
Okay.
He's known for his chocolate cakes, but it's very liquidy.
So what I'm anticipating being a challenge when we do this is that the weight of the batter and the lightness of these cups, it's gonna make them jump around and
It
stuff,
depends.
isn't it?
So my vanilla cake batter, it's really like a honey,
We'll wait and see.
like a honey.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's
The
thick.
consistency is
Yeah. So I do I fill it a quarter of the cup because it's gonna expand more.
right.
The reason is, does not have a lot of liquid,
Right.
and liquid when you bake evaporates, so it keeps its shapes.
Okay.
For my chocolate, it's liquid. It has a lot of liquid in it, so when you bake it, it's gonna evaporate.
Right.
So that's it. So if you do a half a cup, it's gonna be only the cupcake is that. So you increase it high, so if they evaporate, it's still right size.
Ends up where you need it to
It
be.
depends on how thick the batter is. You fill your cups.
Okay.
So the goal is to have the cupcake is kind of flush, close to the edge of the liner.
Okay. I
You
feel
know
like
what?
that's very full.
Huh?
I feel like that's very full, but
You'll be
we'll see.
surprised. So,
You're the expert.
okay. So you guys can chat. You can ask him question about how we moved in. I'm
Okay.
gonna start scaling
Okay.
so we
Perfect.
can kill time, and I'll be back after this messages.
Deal. Okay. So Tracy, tell us, when did you guys move to Woodstock and open Two Guys in a Whisk?
Well, so we moved to Woodstock in the fall of 2018. He did.
Right.
Let's jump back to the story.
Okay, do
Most
it.
people know the story, but we're going to give the entire little spiel.
Okay.
Of what
We
the
have
story is.
time.
There you go.
We have time.
So, in around Nabil moved to Canada actually in 2010. We met-
From?
Well, at that time he was in Jordan,
Okay.
near Amman with his mother, but he has had some background. He went to high school and university in Texas.
Cool.
So he's lived in the States.
So in Jordan and
Canada.
Texas and
I'm
Canada.
international.
Or no, you can ask him that
Okay.
when you talk to him. So anyway, we a friend of ours asked us to take a cooking course at George Brown, probably around 2013,
Okay.
and that cooking course, you're introduced to making a chicken and whatever. One of the things was a quiche. One of the things was a black forest cake. And one of the things was an apple pie. So Nabil loved the baking aspect of that particular course. So he decided to go and take the preliminary baking course that you take at George Brown. Loved that, and then started branching out into the specifics. So that's your chocolate course, and start taking other things. So he took a course and another course, and by the time a year or so had passed, he was taking 2 or 3 courses a week while working full-time at the Bank of Montreal, which is where I worked as well.
Oh my goodness. And is that where you guys met? Was while working at the Bank of Montreal?
No, we met prior to that, and because I worked at the bank, then we got him a job at the bank. So we had just met casually prior to that. And then he was looking for a role, so we ended up at the bank.
Right.
After taking the courses at George Brown, we had some chatter about potentially opening a bakery. I was getting close to retirement at BMO and making that decision. So we started investigating small town Ontario and trying to figure out where we may live. Do you know the story?
I have
I
heard
did,
it, but our
okay.
audience doesn't.
Okay, so in the interim, for his 40th birthday, which would have been, what year was it?
So you don't have to say it.
Last year.
Last year.
Anyway, for his 40th birthday, we went to Mexico, and we met some people from Norwich, Ontario.
Okay.
Just down the road.
Just down the road. So that couple invited us to come and visit them a few times, and we started making Norwich kind of our second home away from home. And that kind of made us think a little bit more about Woodstock.
Right.
5 years ago when we investigated Woodstock, it didn't feel like it was the right feel for us at that point in time.
Okay.
But as we started to think forward and review and look at Woodstock more and more, it just started to feel like it was the right place.
Right.
And this particular location that we're in, we just happened to be in Woodstock one day and walked by it, and it was for rent. And as a result of that, contacted the realtor. The realtor said it was perhaps going to be a bakery at some point in time, and that seemed to be the sign for us to open a bakery. So fast forward to 2019, we opened on Valentine's Day 2019.
Right.
And the intent then was to open for Thursday, Friday, Saturday that week, get a flavor for baking, get a flavor for how our kitchen worked, figure out a point of sale, and then I was still working in Toronto, and I wasn't leaving until the end of April. So
you worked in Toronto while this was opening up?
Correct, but we were only going to open for those 3 days.
Right.
But the feedback from the clients that came in was like, you need to be here.
Right.
And there wasn't really no other competitive bakery in town. So we...
He's on the move.
A friend of ours, one of the ones that we had met in Mexico, who lives in Norwich, said that he would come and work for us full time until I was available in... I've already turned those in.
You did?
Yeah. So he came and worked for us full time. I came on Thursdays, worked Friday, Saturday, until I retired at the end of April, and then I came here full time.
Can I tell you a little story about that? I came in here while he was working here, and I asked him, hey, are you one of the two guys? And he said to me, no, I'm the Whisk. And I thought, I'm home.
Because I remember you guys had a very warm welcome to the community. Like, you had a lot of people wanting to come and support you when you opened up, right? So I think it was perfect timing for our community to have a new business like yours come in.
We still feel like we have
honestly,
a warm welcome.
I think we made the right choice to move to Woodstock. Everybody's been phenomenal to us.
Wonderful.
I mean, they accepted us with open arm, and the support, we couldn't even ask for a better support than this.
Right.
And honestly, if we open in different town, I don't think we'd be successful.
Interesting.
We wouldn't have the home that we have. The weird thing about, even today, as we move around town sometimes, you feel a bit like a rock star. You guys have a position in town too where people know you.
Right.
And like, excited to see you or what have you. Well, that's never happened. I was anonymous all my life. I lived in Toronto, right? I grew up in a small town that it was just me.
Yeah.
I was talking about this last night with some friends, saying you're not anonymous, which is one thing to deal with, but also you get a certain celebrity status, which is bizarre.
Yeah.
Right?
Which it makes living here a wonderful, warm experience, I agree, because it is nice to go out and just know your neighbors and have that, but it also makes going to Walmart really difficult, because it's sometimes you just want to get in and out and you're there talking to people forever, which is, I guess, a wonderful problem. Yeah. But that's great. So I know that when you guys had first came here, so through my work at United Way, this is not my first time being in this kitchen, so we had the opportunity once to come work with Nabil because you guys donated some cookies to an event we were doing at United Way, and so that was kind of my first opportunity to come in and actually spend some time with you guys. So me and a colleague of mine at United Way came and worked with Nabil. Brittany, yes, and we got to bake some cookies together, so I'm very excited.
So what happens is you always have to work when you come here, it sounds like,
yes,
right?
We're getting put to work every time.
This is not my first time working with Nabil and Tracy either.
Oh, tell me.
Remember that?
Absolutely.
We actually had Nabil and Tracy come. Nabil came. Tracy, I don't think you came, did you?
No.
You weren't in the store.
No.
When I was teaching in the work experience program, in the developmental program, my colleague and I had Nabil come to our classroom and do a master class in baking with our kids.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We did sugar cookies in the class.
Oh, what a great lesson. And those kids are not going to forget that lesson either.
No.
And actually after that, the following week, the whole class came over here.
That's right.
To the bakery.
That's right.
And they always told me their experience because we baked them. We make the cookies and we baked them, and it was a great experience, actually.
Bill's even done a masterclass for grade ones via Zoom during the pandemic.
Well, look at this.
And the teacher said, keep teaching because I've never had them sit still this long.
Well, when it's for cookies.
Yeah. And the next day, some of the kids came and they did a drawing. Thank you to guys and they gave us a drawing.
Yeah.
So that was a great experience.
Makes it worthwhile. Oh, I love that. So you guys have been busy right off the hop.
Yes.
You came in and you've never stopped running, eh?
And that really is being part of the community too when you're doing all those
Yes.
Right.
things. Yeah. We do
Wonderful.
have celebrity status.
Well, it's everything that's happened to us in this town has been customers. Like our friends, our social life is customers
Right.
that we've met. The house that we live in, which we love, is just a customer telling us about it.
And it's
So we didn't have to
beautiful.
do we didn't
I
have to
picture
do
your
the
home.
real
It's
estate.
quite beautiful.
I'm going to interrupt really quick. What is this, vanilla? What do we got in this thing?
It's a secret recipe, and now everybody's not going to know what it is.
Oh, I got to see the scaling sheets. Crack the code. I can't read upside down. It's not happening.
No, actually, it's coffee.
Oh, and this is for the
Coffee.
cake?
It's coffee in my chocolate cake.
Oh, well, that sounds perfect for this show.
There you
That
go.
looks delicious.
That's
Even
why
just
you get
liquid.
that rich. His chocolate cake is like fudge. Have you had
Oh.
the chocolate cake?
I have.
Oh yeah.
So, favorite items of mine, I always have to get a Nanaimo bar and a brownie when I'm
Right.
here. That brownie, with a scoop of ice cream, that's perfect.
Yes.
What's your go-to?
Oh man, I think I come here and I get a lot of the savory
Right.
stuff. I love the what are they called? The leek parmesan
Bistro pastries.
bistro pastries. Oh yeah.
Bistro pastry. Oh, I don't know that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, and the tarts,
Yeah.
the butter tarts,
Yes.
the pastry.
So, what are some of your top selling items that your customers regularly
Brownies.
order?
Well,
Yeah.
his brownies are very fudgy. So you've named two of them.
Right.
Our traditional
Wait, what was the other one? Sorry, brownie and
And the tarts.
And the
The
tarts.
tarts.
the pastry crust.
Right.
So our traditional items are pastries, so croissant and Danish and so on and so forth. Cookies, which you've seen being baked. Our squares, which you rotate through, but again, during pandemic, we kept it kind of minimal to the ones that are the best sellers, and our pastries.
Right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when we started, Nabil wasn't thinking that he was going to do cakes.
Right.
But when cake orders came in, he started doing them. And as a result of that, the cake business grew.
Right.
We did have a couple of employees pre-pandemic, so we needed to do a lot more for one, because the store was a lot busier, and that gave Nabil the ability to do pretty much cakes.
Right.
Now we can only keep up what he can do because he's
Right.
alone in the bakery.
Right.
But we have a pretty good cake base. The customers that come maintain regularity, so they don't.
Right. Like
they don't
consistent.
change
They
up
consistently want their cakes.
Yeah, so the big ones are the tarts and the brownies and the majority of the squares. Recently we did flakies, which we're going to start playing around with
I
the menu
saw that
a little
online.
bit. So that started a lineup yesterday. We love when we have a lineup on
Right.
Saturday morning. So we've had some lineups for those. Creating a bit of change is always good. And as we move forward in time and things change in society, hopefully we'll
Well, and it's nice
start
that
to
you,
see people downtown more as well.
and it's nice that you have such a strong following that you guys as business owners, and when you're trying new things, to know that people are curious and interested in experiencing what you're putting out there, like that's like reassuring to know that you've
Yes.
got a nice customer base that is willing to try out the things that you're wanting to try out.
Yes, well, Nabil begs that they will come.
I don't doubt it. Now, do you guys have personal favorites of like when you bake something, you make an extra one for you to take home, or are you guys just around it so much that it's a little overwhelming? Maybe.
We'll see his size. His favorites are a lot less than mine. I'm around it all the time, and I still eat it all the time.
Honestly,
So a brownie for sure.
Yeah.
A tart for sure.
Yeah.
What'd you call me? No, I'm just kidding.
Called you the brownie, told me the
He
tart.
he made a monster cookie this week, and normally I don't eat cookies, but I had 5 of those this week.
Okay.
Chocolate chip when they come out of the oven. Usually, I gotta have one of those.
Right.
I would be so
Yeah,
dead if
I
I
don't
worked
limit
there.
myself to anything.
Well,
Whatever.
I feel like I wouldn't either. Like, you have a
Honestly-
wonderful thing here. Why not indulge and enjoy
For
it?
me, after a while, it just doesn't faze me anymore.
Right.
It's just a brownie.
It's just your materials. This is your art, your craft. It's
Exactly.
just-
But you know, when you're home and you're cooking for someone else, it's more pleasurable to have someone else have it, right?
Right.
If he bakes it, I eat
You
it.
enjoy it. Look at it. This is
And don't ask me to
partnership.
bake at home because I will not
You're
bake
over
at
it,
home. That's it. Once I get home, it's done.
Now, if you guys go to like a social event, are you expected to bring, like if you're going out with friends for a dinner party or something, is it like just expected that you guys are bringing dessert, or is there a rule around that at all?
It's luckily none of our friends they expected it.
We're not.
Right. None of us expect it, and it depends on the occasion. And if it's like a friend's house and birthday, of course we give them like a free cake.
Right.
Bastards. And
But if you ever go to like a potluck, do you ever like freak people out and just show up with like tuna casserole instead? Like people are thinking, okay, well obviously these guys are going to bring cookies.
Tracy and Bill are coming. What tasty?
Well, so I love to cook at home.
Okay.
And many of our friends that know that, yeah, we'll do the tuna casserole thing because they want something different, right?
Right.
They too, like he will. You know, if you stuff people full of brownies, eventually they're not as good anymore.
Right.
So.
Again, it depends on the occasion, you know, what we're doing and stuff like that.
Right.
But people expected a dessert.
Right.
Look at how efficient these guys are here.
I'm like just watching the Bill.
I putter around
here.
my kitchen. It takes me like 4 hours to make 3 batches of banana muffins because I just putter around. I'll stop for a minute and change the tunes, and I'm just watching this, and this is like something that would have taken me an 8-hour day.
If I'm here by myself, I usually have the radio on. I'm by myself.
Yes,
But exactly. I'll be like
Walking
dancing
around.
and
but I'm sure you're still efficient. I'm not
I've been
efficient.
doing it for so long. Some of the recipes is like I can just scale it without even looking it up. But
Because you're
But
probably
you do know as a baker though, you always follow a recipe.
right.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
As a cook, you can play
Just
with spice.
for sure.
But baking, never ever do you
Because
It's
even
like
just
magic.
flavor.
butter being a little harder, softer is going to make a big difference in the
Right.
outcome of how.
Well, even
Absolutely.
butter. So we have to buy brand butter. You would never buy non-branded butter.
Right.
yes,
But
butter makes a big difference.
Okay.
Because some butter has the fat content, it's different. So if I use a cheap butter,
Yeah.
my cookies will not spread. So it become like a
The
puck.
chemical reaction to it is a little
Exactly.
different in a way. That
chemistry.
So
Yeah.
you have a Gailey versus lactantia versus neutral.
okay.
And I'm not going to rate them because I'm not about one company or the other, but there is a difference in the three.
Interesting.
The same as the cocoa powder. Our cocoa powder is the 22, 24 fat content.
Okay.
Normally you buy in a store bought your 10, 12.
Okay.
And your
which
cocoa
is half
powder
the fat content and therefore
and the
kind of
cocoa
half
powder
the flavor.
for baking, it usually you always get the dark one. Don't get the brownish one.
Okay. The darker the better.
the higher fat content.
The better.
The better.
22, 24.
See, Mom? See? The higher the fat content, the better. Mom.
Just whisper that sweet
Same
nothing
for
in my
butter,
ear.
right? The higher the fat
Thank
content
you.
butter, you never use margarine.
I know you're talking about baking, but I'm still going to take it as a compliment.
Sure. Whatever flow you both.
Who said I was talking about baking?
Fair enough.
You and I are on the same wavelength.
Fair enough.
Now, have you tried baking something before that you were just like, it's something that we want to do again?
Well, no, so not to say the way our menu was developed. So people that may or may not watch this, you guys would be aware that pre-COVID, we sampled everything,
Right.
which allows, of course, to help your sales. We're notoriously Costco does that, right?
Right.
But we sampled our cookies, we sampled our squares. Now what we've had to do, some of our regulars that give us the feedback that we like, we'll make something and get the feedback, maybe sugar content or something, and we'll play around. Now everything that he usually does, people like.
Right.
However, the menu, again, the fact that we have 8 or 9 various squares and we have 4 or 5 consistent cookie flavors is as a result of sales, for one, and feedback. So if we put out something either seasonal or we put out something new and it doesn't move, that's your feedback.
Right.
Because of course we're small. There's the two of us, so we can flip the business around
Right.
however we want, right?
Yeah.
We haven't bought, a skid of peanut butter cups off of a Reese's and trying to sell those. We're making a batch of chocolate brownies and it's just not the right thing, then fine.
So we alternate the menu based whatever's feedback.
Right.
So when people ask us what's good, actually everything, because based on the customer's feedback, that's what we kept.
It's proven to have earned its spot in this counter,
Correct.
so it's all good.
And
Well,
if people
basic,
give us, oh, it's not good, and we see it's not selling, we usually take off the menu, we create a new one, and so when we open, we just do anything, just to
Right.
see, just to start it.
Right.
And now it's set based everybody's feedback and the likings.
Right. Okay, I have a question for you about what you're doing over here. So you're putting everything into the blender.
Mixer?
Now, mixer, I'm sorry. A blender is what you put ice into to chop up
You
and
make your
stuff.
margaritas.
Yes, that's why it's
Blender.
top of mind.
That's the next show.
All right. The mixer. So you took a little cup, scooped out the big bowl, and put it into the mixer. Why couldn't you just dump the whole bowl right into the mixer?
First of all, if you do that, it's going to take longer to mix.
Okay.
And I've tried to eliminate incorporating air, because when you whisk, you always incorporate H to the batter.
Right.
So I'm trying to do that. And the second thing, if when you do a small increment,
Yeah.
it doesn't lump up.
Right. Okay. So,
So
it allows
you
it
get
to
like
smooth
nice smooth
out.
out, and all the flour, it's already incorporated. You're not going to see white lumps of flours when you eat the cupcake.
Oh, you don't want that.
No.
Right.
So that's why I do it slowly to make sure everything incorporates properly.
Cool.
But
Okay.
even though you do that, still you're going to have some lumps, but you cannot completely eliminate it.
Right.
Is this where you keep the bodies?
Yes.
Hey, Lori.
Hey, Mike.
So you did pick me up my coffee.
Yeah.
You did ask if it was right. I did say yes, and it actually isn't right, but it's still delicious. So thank you. How do you
Should
guys?
I do it
Shout out to
backwards?
Early Bird, right?
Yeah. Yes.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Have an
Thank you,
early
early
bird.
birds.
So we had a few episodes ago. We were at Early Bird, able to enjoy a fresh cup with them, and so I'm a very big 1 cream 2 sugar kind of guy in my coffee.
Ah,
And Early Bird was the first time I had a cup of black coffee that I loved. So that's saying something, right?
Mhm.
So do you guys when you have your little sweet treat? Do you like it with coffee, or are you guys coffee drinkers much?
Me, yes. Nabil, a single cup a day,
Yeah.
which is only in the past couple of years.
Right. Oh,
Yeah, recently I started drinking coffee.
because you're probably having to get up at all hours of the morning to start baking and stuff.
Exactly.
I bet.
So not by choice.
So what are you cutting up here?
Well, you asked about a new product, so this is a new product.
Okay.
You can give it the taste test.
All right. I want to have a little peek first. So we got. It looks like a Nanaimo
I got it
bar
here.
of
Yes.
sorts.
It's very similar to the Nanaimo top and bottom. I'm calling it a cherry coconut macaroon chocolate bar.
Sorry. Say that again.
A cherry coconut macaroon chocolate bar.
Okay.
Yeah, we always like
If you don't
small
like
titles.
coconut, if you don't like coconut or you're allergic, don't eat it at the point.
Exactly.
I'm lukewarm to coconut. Should I try? Yeah, I'll try.
Yes, of course you're gonna
As
try.
long as
Of course
you're
I'm
not
gonna try.
allergic
Did you
to
cut it in half?
Mm-hmm.
Here. You know what?
Okay,
Why don't we?
No, I'm just chomping.
You can just throw it out.
I'm just going to
No, I
try
don't
that.
want to throw it
Can
out.
you get one more for Rob?
Yeah.
You good?
Everyone say hi, Rob.
Later.
Hi, Rob.
Rob
You
did a
have a
wonderful.
peanut butter cookie.
Rob did a wonderful job of coming in and setting up, because this is a bit of a unique experience for us so far. We haven't had a hands-on working day yet, so we're really excited.
That's really
This
good.
is
And
really
the
good.
fact that we all talk over each other so fast, it's going to be interesting for people to watch this, isn't it?
Nothing Rob can't handle. I say that now, poor Rob. But anyways, thank you so much for coming and setting all this stuff up for us, Rob. This is delicious.
Yes, it is.
I like the thickness of the bottom. So tell me, the bottom is
Oreo
what the
base.
coconut's in. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's an Oreo-based bottom,
Right.
and it has not hot chocolate, cocoa powder and Oreo crumbs,
Okay.
and we make the base.
Right.
And after the filling, it's you know Hello Dolly's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's similar to Hello Dolly
Okay.
ingredients, and we top it with some dark chocolate.
So it's the same. It is the same as the Nanaimo top and bottom.
Right.
Mhm.
It's the center.
The middle.
That's the coconut cherry.
But a Nanaimo bar has coconut in it too.
Sorry, traditional
No.
Nanaimo has graham, buttered graham, cocoa powder, and coconut.
Oh,
We
okay.
don't do a traditional. We do an Oreo.
I modified it.
cocoa powder.
Right.
We don't
okay,
put
well,
the
that's probably,
coconut or the graham.
that's probably why I like it so much.
Yeah.
So then when I first bit this, I assumed that the coconut was in the base of this.
No.
But I see it now very
It's the
clearly
filling.
in the filling of it.
Mm.
It's really good. It's nice and smooth. It's got some crunch to it.
Can you give me 3 sets of 6-inch
Yes, sir.
I need
pans,
to wash my
please?
hands again. I'm covered in chocolate.
So I think one of my biggest challenges, if I was to work in a kitchen or to bake, is I very much grew up as a spoon licker. or like a whisk liquor,
Yeah.
and I would probably never professionally be able to. Yeah, like.
Okay,
Give me that. I'll go watch a movie. I'll see you guys later. Okay, I'm done.
So
Well,
he's going to be absent for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
You know why.
I just need to go work on this. But like, I would really struggle with not dipping my fingers
So
in.
at the beginning, it's going to be hard because you're used to licking your finger.
Yeah, if you get stuff
That's
on
a
your
big
hands.
no-no in the commercial.
Yeah, I haven't.
No, I'm just
I got a
saying.
responsibility.
Guilty when I started, like because I'm not used to it. And after that, once you get the hang of it and you've been doing it a while, so you know this one here never leaves your hands.
Right.
And the second thing, you're constantly washing your hands.
Right.
Because you always do something, you have to wash your hands.
Right.
So your hands is always clean because.
We will be doing momentarily, Michael.
Right. Let's move this back
Okay.
over here, though.
So when I remember I told you my liquid, it's liquidy.
Right. Ooh, look at that. Oh my God, that's a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
And this amount of batter, these are the cakes we're making. This is the size of the cake.
Yes.
Yeah.
I need one more, please.
And how many of these cake pans can we fill with that much batter?
So this is considered one cake. The 3 layers,
Oh, okay.
consider one cake because my cake is 3 layers.
Right.
What I do is now.
You have to excuse me, Mike. I gotta wash.
Can we take a quick second? Lori and I are going to go wash our
Sure.
hands up. We'll be right back.
We can prep what you guys do.
All right.
Always line the cake pans with parchment paper. We do. In and out easy. No sticking. Easy to work with.
All right.
So for your he's going to show you in a sec too, but for these cakes,
Yeah.
these are also scaled. So the weight, so they're always done with the same weight.
So you got to zero out the scale, and then
Yeah.
so you're getting the exact consistent amount of batter in each.
Yeah. So when you're
Tin.
zeroing your scale, you're tearing your scale.
And is this a tin, a pan? What do we call this?
Cake pan.
Cake pan.
Aluminum.
You don't know. You don't know.
Aluminum. They're fairly heavy weight.
Right. So we put that on. We zeroed it
I'm
out.
coming back in this way, Michael. We're gonna have to. Rob wants me on that side of you. Please and thank you.
No problem.
Thanks. All right.
So again, scaling and weighting. So when you do the cake, because you want all the same layers,
Right.
so I also weigh them to make sure they're all constant. And I put 350 gram for each cake. You want to get a tray and put them on the tray, please?
350 grams for each cake.
Yeah.
So that means your batter for the chocolate cake is a little over 1 kilogram for our smallest cake.
Okay. And for the pans, do you grease them?
You grease them and you put a parchment paper in the bottom of it
Right.
so it doesn't stick.
So do you have to spend a day just cutting out circles of parchment paper so you have like an inventory of them ready to go?
So that's why when you have
The
helpers,
Sue helper does that.
Oh.
that's when you have your helpers do that for you.
Right. So every time I come, Tracy, you're usually covering the counter up at the front. You'll be
Right.
you're back here baking up a storm.
Yep.
Do worlds collide? Do you ever come back and do baking to help out back here? Or is it like a...
Well, we come in the mornings and usually between 6 and 6:30. We open at 10, so
Right.
I'm the Sue kind of doing the dishes. I'll scoop cookies and stuff that we saw a little bit before. I don't do the baking,
Right.
the prep. I don't use the mixer. I'm probably not allowed.
That was what I was actually asking.
He said it, not me.
Now up there,
That's
though,
true.
are you up there and you're helping customers and stuff?
It depends. So we have the monitors here.
Right.
So I see them. So if I know it's backed up and need some help, I usually just pause whatever I can and just jump up there, give them a hand until we get the line going,
Right.
and I come back continue. So
Or a customer might come in that says, "Hey Tracy, blah blah blah," in the bill, and the one thing that he meets a person here's the name, he never forgets it.
Right.
I like, well, I come running back and say, what's that person's name?
Well, as long as one of you guys have that covered, then you're fine.
Well, that's one of the things that
Like
we take pride in our business, though, is the two guys in the West. The two guys are always here.
Right.
And our regulars know us. Right. I think that's part of how we've grown our business, is putting our personalities out there with the business. And I think it's a huge payback to know your customers.
Well, and it's
For
nice.
sure.
And when you guys are here and able to have that dynamic and be yourselves and bring yourself into your business like that, people aren't just here for the business. They are here for you too, right? So I think that's where that community feel of it all is really valuable.
Right.
And wonderful. And I hope our community continues to see growth like that, because it's wonderful to see.
Yeah. And I think that's what small business kind of Woodstock is.
Right. So I don't consider myself a baker at all. So that's why I'm asking all these questions that probably our whole audience knows, but I'm going to continue to ask. So when you tap that, that's to get all the air bubbles up and act so it's not so air bubbly.
Now
Now we're going to let you work,
Maybe
and
we
I'm going to
should
stand back and watch.
Okay.
the scooping party starts.
Right.
Scoop Central. Okay.
I think the dish steward is going to go do some dishes. Hands are washed.
Yes.
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 because
Just
you're
did it
going to use
again. Yep.
fingers, I believe.
Yep.
And I'll go be my dish stewer.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Tracy.
You're
What you
welcome.
are required to do. So we're gonna scoop in here.
Okay.
Let me help you ease. I'm gonna give you these,
Okay.
and each one's gonna have that.
All right.
So each one's gonna have its own. So we're gonna put this in the middle. Right. I can steal them for you. Let me just show
Yeah,
you.
go for it.
It's basically, you get all the access.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to make a mess.
Right. Smart.
And
I think
you
We'll
basically
see.
try to drain as much as possible
Right. Every
Of-
last drop of
of
that.
the last drop.
Because if you only like meh, meh,
Yeah.
then you're going to get
And
inconsistencies.
again,
'Cause-
make sure it's clean,
right.
because you want the cup and everything, it's clean. So it's nice when you sell it, it's nice presentation.
Right.
If
Yeah, because if
it's
it's
not turned off on what's in here.
Cookies, take them out.
so. Is it one scoop then per cup?
Yes.
1 scoop per cup.
Yeah, but just make sure you get everything out.
Right. And what you were saying is if I let it like drip over the edge of the paper cup and stuff, it's going to like burn on that little part and it's going to
Yeah,
look like
it's not going to look nice, especially when it's decorative and
Right.
stuff like that.
Oh
So
no, that's a lot of pressure.
can you handle it?
I don't know.
Nothing.
see.
We got this. We got this.
We'll see.
What are you saying, Lori?
I don't know.
I don't know either. We're gonna try this.
You just put some on my
I just
shoe.
think I got some on your shoe.
Okay.
Better
we
on your
go.
shoe than on the paper cup, though. I'm learning. All right, so I'm gonna scoop all this excess off.
I can't even do that. What am I doing?
Well, your best. You're doing your best. Oh my goodness.
Rob might want to do this part in high speed.
I feel like
I
need
don't
to-
think I'm doing this right.
Yeah, we did. We're both doing the same
You
thing.
use your dominant hand to
To wipe?
try both and see which one is your best.
I'm trying to.
Oh! I'm tripping on the table. The table's okay.
Yeah, that was fun.
And I'm just like gonna make sure all this last little droopy
Oh,
drips.
I can't. Here we
Oh
go.
my gosh.
Okay, so apparently
Yes.
this is your dominant, so you need to swap to make it easier.
Because you need to use your little thumb button scooper thing too.
What is going
Can you
on?
reach it?
Yellow for
I'm gonna
banana.
have to do it like this.
Lord.
Yep.
So, Lori, I'm not the best at this either. So
And why are you making it hard on yourself? Why don't you start from here? Why you have to reach and you can flop it? My motto in the kitchen: work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
That's my motto. So start from here,
Okay.
halfway through.
I was just watching
alternate
Mike. I don't know.
Am I?
Mike, you're not influence. I don't know what's happening.
I went to the other side because that's where he started his.
Because I'm
Stop,
closer
I've done
to
it
me.
already.
Right.
It's
On the
awesome.
table already. Oh, this is embarrassing.
Keep doing it. Keep doing this.
Okay.
Okay,
Look at the mess I'm making.
You have the mix.
Oh.
Hold it,
Oh, look,
this,
it's on the.
hold it
Oh,
this way because now you have better control. If you're doing this, you're like you pretzel yourself. You're like a pretzel. And try to.
Do you guys make pretzels?
I've been called many things. Pretzel.
It's not.
That's
It's
never
a
been
new
one of
one.
them.
Okay, before you do that,
Okay.
just give me a
I can't
second.
do that.
Give me a second. Got it.
Yeah. You make that look so easy. I would be spilling that.
It would be on the
Wait,
floor.
no, I take it back. You dropped the ball.
My dog would be licking that up off the floor if that was at my house.
Okay. So continue.
All right.
Take your time.
Okay.
Aw,
No rush.
a little bit of a rush.
You said that with a bit of a rush in your voice. A little bit of panic, Nabil.
I would like to go home today.
Oh man, I'm really nervous about screwing this up.
No, I've already got my first one. I've got stuff on the cup already.
All right, what do you have any feedback for my technique thus far, Nabil?
It's good. Just don't follow Laurie's. You're good.
You hear
All
that,
right.
Laurie?
I'm more of a chicken wing air fryer maker.
We noticed it.
Yeah. I think
You're
everybody
doing
knows.
fine.
Everybody knows. I don't know what is happening. Oh my god, this is going to be a mess.
Oh, okay. I think I might have found my groove here. I feel like these are looking all
Nabil
right.
gets to pour it.
You might need to ask Rob to come do a little close up so I can brag before you actually screw one up.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Hey Rob, if we ask you questions, are you mic'd? Are you able to?
Yeah, you'll hear me.
Okay. What's your go-to treat from a bakery? What do you like
Well, I
getting?
definitely like brownies.
Yeah.
Not the ones you're making, though.
You say that now. I'm gonna make brownies, and I'm not gonna bring you any.
Yeah, well,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had a conversation a few weeks ago, which is I find very interesting. You guys might want to talk about this topic at some point in time, but I'm always fascinated, having lived in Toronto, which is a very international, diverse city.
Right.
When we were exploring Woodstock, it wasn't
Right.
the most diverse city. And our first time here was probably 7 or 8 years ago now.
Right.
It's becoming more and more diverse. I'm always fascinated where people come from.
Right.
And we get to see a lot of the diversity for the customers that come in. So I was just going to say, I didn't tell you his story, but his birth and then where Nabil came, because it's interesting how people get from international
Yeah.
into a town such as Woodstock or other small towns in Ontario.
Little old Woodstock, right?
Yes.
So Nabil, do you care to share some of your story of how you got to get be to where you are today?
Oh, Lord. How much time do you got?
Give us the highlights. Like when did you? So where were you born and where did you grow up?
Okay. I am international, actually. I was born and raised in Kuwait, which is
Okay.
in the Gulf area. And my parents are originally from Bethlehem.
Bethlehem,
So
okay.
that's, my parents left Bethlehem and my dad was an expat. So he went to Kuwait. That's when I was conceived
Right.
and lived in there. And after that, I decided to pursue my career and I went to the States. So I lived in Houston, Texas. I went to high school and college there.
Okay.
And I have relative, my uncle lives there. So I was with them
Right.
until I finished my education. By then, my parents moved back to Jordan.
Right.
So I went back to Jordan
Okay.
and I stayed there for 7 years. And after that, I decided to pursue to Canada or try something different. I don't like to stay in the same place forever.
Okay. Does
So-
that mean you're leaving
Yeah,
us?
don't tell us
Don't
that.
tell us that.
No, so far I'm liking it here. I'm not going nowhere.
Good. Music to my ears.
Well, I mean, it depends,
And my hips. Music to my hips.
it depends on where life takes me,
Right.
you know?
Right.
That's a great attitude.
Well, yeah, I
So,
agree. Well, because
and-
life brought you here, like what Tracy was sharing earlier about your journey of discovering Woodstock and our community and all that kind of stuff. I think is kind of the universe
Yes.
lined up and
And it's a lot of research and homework, right? So it took us like 5 years to get here.
right.
So it's like a lot of planning, a lot of small town visiting, and to see where we can see ourselves living and based on our lifestyle and what we like to do and stuff like that.
Right.
It's nice to have like restaurants and coffee shops and
I'm
small
done.
things
I
to
can't
do.
do it anymore. I give up. Rob, come look at my mess. Look at this.
Now, are there things about living in Toronto, say, that you miss? What do you miss most about living in Toronto?
A mess?
Yeah.
Just friends.
Right. The
And
social
again-
scene.
I feel like you always make the best of the situation where you live.
Right.
Your life and lifestyle is always in your hand. You have control of it. So if you live in a small town, even if there's not a whole lot, you always make the best of it.
Right.
Either you find friends that you get along, you do like a small gathering, and you always find something to do.
Right. Make it home in a way.
Make it home and just live your life.
I love that.
But to add a comment to that though, again, we've been here for COVID, so it's hard to. Two-thirds of our time in Woodstock
Has been-
during COVID. Having said that, our social life here in Woodstock is probably twice or 3 times as busy as it was.
We
in
have more
Toronto.
friends here than in Toronto.
Oh, very cool.
Because a lot of your social life is being with people.
Right.
Toronto is going to a restaurant or what
Sure.
have you. So, because it's, I've said it over and over and over and over that Woodstock's claim to the friendly city
Right.
is very, very true.
Right. That's been my
Are
experience.
you done your whole tray already?
I'm done my
Mike?
tray.
And now you're finishing mine.
I'm coming to finish yours.
Because I can't.
No, if we look at my tray,
Yes.
it's. What do you? I'm not going to be the judge of that. What do you think, Camille? Be kind.
Actually, you cannot read it until we bake them. So don't get big head
Okay.
yet.
Well-
Let's bake them first,
Okay.
and after
Yeah,
that,
Mike, don't get a big head
I
yet.
think that's his way of saying it looks like looks like shit.
He wasn't fine at all, was he?
But I might have a chance to redeem myself.
These
That's-
might be the sale rack cupcakes. Oh, there's more. Oh,
by the
look.
small batter.
All right, I'll do some more.
yeah. Yeah, you don't
I'm
just
making a
let it
shame.
go.
I'm making a
Laurie's
mess
like,
of
there's no more
things.
cups, we're throwing out the rest of that batter.
That's right. I gotta go wash before I
You
get
go
back
wash
into it.
up before you get chocolate smeared on your face. I don't even have any on my hands. I don't know
I'm covered in
how
it.
you're
I
doing
don't
what you're
know.
doing, Lori.
Just have
And
to
you're
sit
not a
there.
baker. That's a good
Thank you.
sign. That you kept it
Little
clean.
Sip break.
Because some people they're not bake and they always like a mess everywhere. You kept it clean.
That's me.
Can you shimmy that? Yeah, thank you. So one thing that I think I would struggle at is I tend to have a bit of a shaky hand. So when it comes to like decorating,
That comes with practice, though.
okay, the decorating comes with practice,
I mean, the
Just don't become a
shakiness.
surgeon.
right?
It just was because you're not. It's like you're outside your comfort zone right now.
Right.
Because
So
you haven't been doing that. Once you've been doing that for a while, you know what you're doing.
it's
and
like
it just you train your brain. So your brain has like your what's it called brain muscle. You train it, so you know what you're doing. It's automatically comes to you.
okay,
So when it's all about practice.
right? Okay,
The same
that
thing
makes
with
sense.
cake decorating. Same thing with anything like that. With piping. Once you get the hang of it, and you know what you're doing, and you learn the technique, that becomes piece of cake.
Right, then it's just like a piece of cake.
Yeah.
Do you have a passion for cake decorating? Like, where does cake decorating fall on your line of I can't wait to do it? Is it like, oh my gosh, I don't want to, or you're like,
Cake
all right,
decorating. I'm self-taught.
okay,
I try to take the basic, what they need to do, the techniques,
So you're not
and all
coconut
that
person,
comes in
have a
again
peanut
with
butter
the
cookie then.
practice.
Oh, I hate
People give
the
me
coconut. I
idea,
hate the whole
a
thing.
bounce of
Well, have
that.
peanut butter
So when
cookie.
somebody comes in for a cake, you
will.
say, okay, I'm looking for this type of like a Harry Potter theme.
I could
Right.
smell
I'm
it.
looking for something. I
butter.
search, do my homework,
In the
and
parking
I
lot, I could
alter
smell
it
the
to
peanut butter.
whatever I'm
You
capable of
purposely
doing.
made peanut
Right.
butter,
And
so they could
it's still what they want.
have a sense.
well, I've gotten to the point where I've made a
Although
mess.
they were due to be made anyway.
It's at the end of
I've
it.
just, my hands get, and I just got really wild with that one.
No problem.
Yeah, you're up to you now.
Yeah.
I'm tapping out. I gotta go wash my hands because I just scraped the side of the bowl with that. And I'll just put that there.
But unlike the whisks, you can actually lick your hand if you want.
Excuse me.
That's so efficient. Do you want to come and make things for me in my kitchen?
To me, it's like you have to have a clean workspace
Yes.
to be able to go fast and make everything easier on yourself.
I'm also as clean as I go, like I do my dishes as I,
Same.
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I'm so tired and beat. I'm not gonna say start doing dishes.
Well, we have a very small space in here, truth be told, for what we produce. So
Yeah.
you got to get this stuff out of the way ASAP and start fresh.
All right. What I want to say is that it was nice to kind of get a chance to know you guys. We're going to do a little bit more baking and work together here. But to our audience members, please come out and check out Two Guys in a Whisk. What's your address here on Dundas Street?
519 Dundas Street.
Perfect. So
we have quite short hours right now, so we're open Wednesday to Saturday from 10 to 3. And for his cakes and ideas, Two Guys in a Whisk on Instagram, Two Guys in a Whisk on Facebook, twoguysinawhisk.ca for our website.
Wonderful. So check them out. Come down and buy a tasty treat. You're not going to be disappointed, I promise. There's lots of parking in the back, so you can park in the back, just walk around to the front. Come see Tracy and Bill down here in Dundas in Woodstock. And we want to thank you guys for inviting us out for coffee. And we've had a great time. We look forward to doing a little bit more baking with you. All right?
Okay.
All right. And we'll see our audience next time on Out for Coffee.
With Mike and Laurie.
See you soon, guys.
Thanks.
Do you have questions, comments, or ideas for a future show? Reach out to Mike and Laurie on their social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or email us at mikeandlauriesocials@gmail.com.